Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Here on this channel, I share with you some coins that are part of my collection and tell you what to look for. So this video is going to be about the 1982 missing P dime. So that's one of the cool dimes that's listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide. We're going to talk about that dime, what it's worth, how to find it, and what to look for. But before we get into it, special shout out to Frank Moracos. His last name's Morasco. He's a guy who's been leaving some great comments on my channel. Very supportive. I appreciate that kind of encouragement that I get from Frank and from everyone else in the coin collecting community here on YouTube. All right, so first let's talk about the 1982 dime. Most people probably know of 1982 as the last year that the copper penny was made. 1982 was the last year it had 95% copper in it. After that, it switched over to a lot more zinc. But there are some cool coins in 1982 that we're going to talk about. So in 1982, there were 542 million dimes produced at the Denver, 519 million at the Philly, and 3.8 million proof coins that will have the S Mintmark on them. Now these are the metal content of these is 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel, giving it a total weight of 2.268 grams with a melt value of 1.6 cents as far as the metal content goes. All right, but what makes this special? I just noticed when I was starting, the rim on these coins looks to be a little bit different. This one's got a much bigger rim. It looks like the kind of a broad strike there. They kind of struck it a little bit off center, but that's not what the original video was about. The original video is going to be about the missing Mintmark. So I came across this page while looking through the Cherry Picker's Guide, and selfishly I thought I'd do a little research about the coin, and then that would enable me then to make a little video about it. So that's what it's going to be about. So as I said earlier, there were 519 million made at the Philadelphia Mint. Those will have a P Mint mark on them. Pennies that were made at the Philadelphia Mint, generally, except for 2017, don't have the P Mint mark on them. But dimes, I think, always do. Especially, well, there's some years from 65 to 68 that they didn't have mint marks on them to kind of discourage people from hoarding them. But after that, they should have mint marks on all of the years. So here's a little bit of the description of the 1982 P. Now there's a strong strike and there's a weak strike variety. So here's the description of the strong strike. The Mintmark P was omitted from the working die. This strike ranges from a strong to weak. The strongest strikes are far more valuable and in demand than the weaker ones, as you would kind of imagine with different strong versus weak strikes. Compare the strong strike pictures that are listed here. So what essentially the pictures are depicting is a 1982. That would be more like the strong strike. The weak strike would be kind of the 82 would be kind of falling off the edge right there. So here are some comments on the weak strike. The weak strike is listed here so that collectors will be able to compare the strong and the weak strike. Some specimens that are not as strong as our quote-unquote strong strike are of significantly greater strength than the ones illustrated in the Cherry Picker's Guide. So the stronger the strike, the more definition to the 1982 with the missing mint mark, the better it will be worth. The more it will be worth. So the Cherry Picker's Guide has a Mint State 66 valued at $300 for that 1982 no P. And the weak strike, this kind of gives you a good example of how the prices vary. The weak strike, which kind of has the date falling off the edge at a Mint State 66, only valued at $100. However, those still are going to be great return on your investments for these dime coins. If we'll flip it over, there are no known noted errors for the reverse of the 1982. In fact, 1982 is just listed as having those two missing mint marks. There's a 1983 Denver Mint repunched mint mark that's worth a little bit more than face value as well. If you happen to have a 1983 and you're watching this video about the 82. All right, so let's transition about halfway through the video to some bonus coins Now, generally, I share some kind of foreign coins toward the end of this video because that's my loyal kind of viewers who are really into coin collecting stick around till the end and they get to see these cool coins. All right, so this bonus edition is going to be about these 2 pennies. Now you might be thinking to yourself, these pennies are much bigger than the ones I'm traditionally used to seeing, like this one right here, because these ones are from across the pond. These ones are from the United Kingdom. So let's talk about this one right here. So this one is from the series of 1911 to 1926. The one that I particularly have is dated 1920. The coin itself is the 1 penny. 1 penny is worth 1/12 a shilling, which is worth 1/240th of a sterling, I believe. LSD, I think, is London sterling dollars. So these were made before the United Kingdom switched over to the decimal system. So their coins were worth all kinds of like weird denominations. So 1 penny was worth 1/12 of a shilling. 1 shilling was worth 1/240th of a sterling. So just kind of some strange denominations when you get into the pre-decimal United Kingdom coins. So its metal content is bronze. It has a weight of 9.4 grams, diameter 31 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.64. Now, the reverse of the coin features a seated Bretonian facing the right with a trident in the left hand and a shield bearing the Union flag in the right. The C is behind, the denomination above, and the date as well. So that's what you see here. And actually, we're going to switch over to my next coin, which has a much better depiction of the reverse. This one's dated 1967. So this design was made from 54 to 70, and when I flip it over, you'll notice a different person that's featured on the obverse. So this one right here has the same diameter as the previous one. However, the weight is a little bit more. This one weighs 9.6 grams, has a thickness of 1.68, which is thicker than the 1.64 that we previously looked at. Again, it's worth the same amount. It's worth 1 penny, which is 1/12 of a shilling. This one's dated 1967. In 1967, there were a ton of these produced. There were 654.5 million produced. That is the highest of any year in that period, and that period was 54 to 70. So I told you it was going to be a little bit different than when we flip it over. So we flip it over right here, and we see Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. She's facing the right. She has that kind of slogan that you'll see a lot throughout these coins. Translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen Defender of the Faith. So it seems like a lot of words that just came out there for not too many on the coin. So there must be some larger meaning to these words than I kind of fully understand. All right, so this one was dated, as I said, 1967. We looked at a 1920 earlier. I want to throw out this one right here, which is a 1912. So this is the oldest one that's going to make it into this little showcase at the end. This was part of that same series that we looked at before that had King George V on it. This coin was made from 1911 to 1926. So there were, this is the second year it came out, there were 48 million of these produced. So a lot more rare than that one that we're looking at right before this one, which had 654 million produced. All right, I'll start to sign off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're into coin collecting, please do check out some of the other videos on my channel. If you've got a channel yourself, leave a comment, let me know. I'll check out your channel, give you a shout out at the beginning of the video if I can. And if I don't, feel free to just remind me. I've been checking out a lot of other people's channels recently, getting around the different channels on the coin collecting community. It's a great community. I really appreciate all the support I get from you guys, and I want to kind of support you as well. All right, take care, everyone. Best of luck coin collecting. Enjoy.